I hated my Cricut so much when I first got it that I did not use it for an entire year. I can go ahead and tell you that when I first got my Cricut, it was the most frustrating thing. I spent days on end trying to get it just to do the one thing that I wanted to do, which was try to make some stickers. The problems I kept running into were the calibration wasn't going correctly, the blade was cutting too deep, the blade wasn't cutting enough, sticker paper wasn't printing correctly, colors were off, like everything I tried to do to calibrate it wasn't working. It wasn't until recently that I started using it again that I've kind of started to learn to like it. I'll be going over as much as I can so that for anyone who's interested in making stickers at home or starting a sticker shop, that the journey of doing so is as easy as possible and without all of the headaches that I experienced. For this tutorial, I'm going to be focusing on how to make a sticker sheet with a colored background. When I was first starting out, I didn't know how to do that because I didn't know how to use Cricut Design Space. So I'm going to teach you how to make a sticker sheet with a nice colored background that doesn't also cut out things like your logo or the decorations around the page. So I'm going to be going over a lot in this tutorial. I'm going to go ahead and just tell you that right now. I started filming it and there was just so much I wanted to tell you. So just to make it a little bit easier for you, I've gone ahead and added the timestamps to the areas I'll be talking about down below so that you can go ahead and skip to the area that's relevant to you. Some of the things that I'll be talking about are how to format your sticker sheet, what print settings to use to get color accurate results, what cut settings to use to get really good cuts in your Cricut, as well as sticker paper that I've found to work really well for me. I'll be trying to give you as many tips and tricks and tools that I've learned along the way to make sure that the calibration is correct, that the cuts are good. I'm going to just try to give you everything that I have learned to make your sticker journey as easy and smooth as possible. I'll be using 4 different tools in this tutorial. I'll be using Procreate and Photoshop, my Cricut Explore Air 2, and my Canon inkjet printer. Now you can definitely do this with just Procreate or Photoshop, but I like using both because I found that has made my process just a lot faster and more streamlined. Now just a disclaimer, these are just the things that I have found to work really well for me. Of course there will be other ways to do it. There are probably better ways to do a lot of these things as well, but this is just what I have found to work for my process. I think with that, let's go ahead and get started. So I like starting my illustrations just by sketching in a notebook, and then I'll go ahead and import that into Procreate to finish up the illustration. I just find it a lot more relaxing to draw in Procreate, and I really like being able to draw on the couch. So I really want to quickly go over the settings that I use to make sticker sheets. These are the settings that I found to give me the highest quality and most color accurate prints. I will draw my illustrations at A4 size 300 dpi using the color profile sRGB. I use these settings for both Procreate and Photoshop. Now when you're formatting your sticker sheet, you need to be sure that there's enough space around each sticker so that there's enough space for the Cricut to cut. Then you're going to outline each sticker to indicate where the cut lines should be. When you're making your outlines, be sure that they are as smooth and opaque as possible because that's going to make it easier for your Cricut to cut. After I finish my illustration in Procreate, I'll go ahead and bring it into Photoshop just to do any last minute changes that I want. Maybe change the colors or the positioning or even just fix some of the outlines. From there, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to export out both a front layer and a back layer. Your front layer is going to be all the stickers that you want to have cut out, and your background layer is going to be the sticker sheet itself. I also like to put the outline layer onto the background to give my stickers just a little bit of buffer space, so the outline that's on the background is just slightly bigger than the one that's on my front layer. So that way when the Cricut cuts, there's just a little bit of extra room in case the cut is slightly off. When your illustration is done and your front layer and your back layer are ready, go ahead and then bring it into Cricut Design Space. So go ahead and upload both of your images into Cricut Design Space. And when you upload them, make sure you choose complex. On this page, you can go ahead and press continue, and then make sure that you save them out as a print and then cut image. Go ahead and do the same thing for the background. I have had issues before with the image not actually uploading. It will give some type of error. If you do have that happen, what you need to do then is save the background image as a smaller size and it should be fine. So then we're going to go ahead and select both of them and then import them into our canvas. You'll see here that my background image is on top. And if that happens to you, go ahead and right click on it and then click on send to back. Now I haven't found a really good way of doing this yet. I just kind of eyeball it, but what you can see here is that they need to be resized and then placed back on top of each other. Usually I just go ahead and resize them down to a similar size, eyeball it to put them on top of each other. If anyone has a better way of doing this, please let me know. Now that they're lined up, go ahead and select both of them, right click, and click on attach. And what I usually do for sticker sheets is I usually print 2 sticker sheets on each piece of paper. So what I'm gonna do here then is then turn it and then move it up, and then copy it and paste, and then drag down the second one below it. You're gonna wanna position the first one at 0, 0, and then the second one at 0. And then we're gonna copy the height from the first one into the position of the second one. That way that they're lined up right next to each other. Now we're gonna go ahead and select them again, right click and attach. What you're probably gonna see is this exclamation. The problem now is that the height is too high. It's being treated as one whole piece now. We're gonna have to change the maximum height to 9.25. So 9.25. And now we're in the correct size and we don't have the exclamation mark anymore. So now that we're ready, we're gonna go ahead and click on make it. So we're gonna press continue. And my Cricut's not on yet, so let me go ahead and turn that on. If it just starts to turn on, oh no. We're now going to go ahead and send to printer. Just looking at the settings here, do not use add bleed if you want to have a white outline. If you use this, it's going to create a grayish colored outline, which does not look pretty. The settings I use is I turn off add bleed and I turn on use system dialog, which will give you more options about your printing settings. Click on print. If you're on a Mac, it's very likely that this system dialog will appear behind everything else. So just make sure that if you're not seeing a system dialog come back up, that you check behind all of your other windows because it's probably there but just hiding. Go ahead and choose your printer that you're going to print with and then click on preferences. For me, I will use high quality print, A4 size. I've also found that testing what kind of media type that you print with will change the quality of the colors. So if you're not getting the right colors, try some of these other settings, especially if you're using glossy paper. If you're using glossy paper, it might be more worth it to print it as like a photo paper because I've noticed that the print color and the quality will be a lot more vibrant. But after some trial and error, the setting that I think works best for me is glossy photo paper. This for me has given me the most color accurate results from what I'm seeing on the screen to what is being printed. It might change the quality again, so just make sure that it's back at high. Click OK, and then we're gonna go ahead and print. So let's just talk paper really quickly because this is definitely the thing that I get asked the most often is which sticker paper to use. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and just tell you, I have spent a lot of money on trying out different kinds of sticker paper and it is a pain. I am somebody who is cheap and I wanted to buy cheap sticker paper, and you know what happens when you buy cheap sticker paper is that you end up with cheap stickers. Buying quality sticker paper is going to make your sticker paper journey so much better. The thing that will determine the quality of your stickers is literally going to be the sticker paper. It is not going to be the settings on your computer. It is not going to be the settings on your printer. It is going to be the sticker paper. The sticker paper determines how high of a quality of a print you can get. Now, after lots of trial and error, the one that has worked best for me is Evergreen Goods. Evergreen Goods sells this particular type of paper, which has worked wonders for me. It gives me the best print. It does not blind the sensor on my Cricut. It cuts beautifully using a light setting. It has just worked perfectly for me. Do not get the one that is for both laser and inkjet. It is not as good. Make sure that you buy this specific one, the one that is for inkjet printers. I also use their clear sticker paper as well as the waterproof vinyl one now. So if you're wondering about how to make waterproof stickers, I've seen lots of tutorials online that say this is how you make them. But for me, when I make waterproof stickers, I just choose waterproof sticker paper. It makes it waterproof. It is super easy. So I actually went ahead and reached out to Evergreen Goods because I do really like their products so much to see if I could maybe get a discount code for you guys. They were awesome enough to go ahead and provide us this discount code here for 10% off of your first order. Go ahead and check them out. I do really recommend them after trying many different kinds. I was the one who reached out to them. They didn't reach out to me. I just want to make your sticker journey as smooth as possible to avoid all the time and money wasted that I had. Okay, I think that's enough on paper, but I hope that kind of covers the spectrum of what I have experienced and what can help you. Let's just talk cut settings really quickly because I know that this is one of the most frustrating things that can happen when you are starting out with your Cricut. If you aren't using the right pressure setting, two things can happen. Either your blade cuts too deep and then your sticker sheet becomes individual stickers, or the opposite happens where the stickers on your sticker sheet don't come off of the page. So the setting that I found to be the best for me for making sticker sheets is this washi tape setting here. You can get this setting as well if you change your dial to custom. When you change it to custom, you're gonna get more options here to browse all materials. If you click on this, you'll see tons of options for different types of materials that you can use to cut on your Cricut. If I'm cutting out individual stickers, I will choose maybe vinyl or even cardstock. You don't want to cut too deep because it's going to not only make your blade more dull, but also mess up your mat. If you click on washi tape here, you're going to see an additional option. Click on default. If your blade is getting dull, you can try selecting more to see if that helps. If you're doing a recut because it didn't cut all the way through, you can click on less. I'm just going to use default because that has been working for me. And then we're finally ready to cut. So go ahead and line up your sticker sheet onto the top left corner of your mat. And then I like to use a microfiber cloth to make sure that my print is all the way on my mat. I don't like using my hands because I don't want the oil from my hands to get onto my print. Now, I don't really have this problem anymore since switching to Evergreen Goods sticker paper, but if you have really glossy sticker paper, it can actually blind the sensor on your Cricut machine, which can cause your calibration and your cut to be off. One way around this is just to use plain matte Scotch tape and cover all of your black registration lines with it. That way, your glossy sticker paper won't blind the sensor. Also be sure that you're in a well-lit area. I've noticed that the lighting in the room can actually affect the sensor and the calibration. Make sure that you load the mat evenly because it can be really easy to accidentally load it at an angle. And then when you're finally ready, go ahead and cut. You can see here how the sensor is reading the registration lines, and this is the part where the really glossy sticker paper could blind the sensor. Now, I definitely recommend watching your cut just in case your calibration is off. Now, before you unload the mat, be sure to check that it actually cut all the way through. You can do this by checking just the corner of it, and if it's not off all the way, go ahead and press cut again. If your cut looks good, go ahead and unload it. Now trim off the extra sides so that you can get your two sticker sheets. And for the division down the middle, I usually just very gently pull them apart and it usually separates really easily. I'll then use a microfiber cloth just to remove any leftover paper particles from the cutting process. And finally, after all of that work, you will have your perfect sticker sheets. Whew. So I think that about covers everything. I know it was a lot of stuff, but there are just so many things that I have learned along the way that I wanted to share with you to make your Cricut journey as smooth as possible. Because I know how frustrating it can be when you first get your Cricut and it's just not doing what you want it to do. Now there are some things that I went through really quickly because I didn't want this video to be way too long. So if you are interested in things like my illustration process or more detailed tutorial, go ahead and let me know. If you have any questions or you need any help, go ahead and leave a comment down below and I will do my best to help you. If you like this video, please go ahead and give it a like. If you like my channel, please go ahead and subscribe. It really helps me grow and it also just helps me know that this is the kind of content that you want to see and helps me create better content in the future. Thank you so much for watching and I wish each and every one of you the best of luck on your sticker journeys. Oh no, it's smudging. It's too early to be talking, I'm so tired. Everything is wrong today. It's so hot. It's so hot today. I'm melting.